Welcome to this video where I show you how to make these quick landscape sketches with Neocolor II crayons. I have also included the reference photos in these, taken by me, so no photographic masterpiece, but I wanted to share these reference pictures so that you can also draw with me if you like. I'm going to show you how I like to use the Neocolor II crayons for very quick sketches, although I have sped up the video so that it's approximately 1.5 times the actual speed, but these were still very, very quick sketches and I'm not going into too much details, just enjoying the process, going with the flow and enjoying how these crayons are just such an easy medium to use. The first one that I have here is, the first picture is from Italy. It is kind of a beautiful spring scene with lots of greens and blue sky with some beautiful clouds. And I thought this was a really nice starting point since it's quite simple. You can easily start by just color blocking different areas, and this is how I like to use Neocolor IIs, is that I first build that first base layer of color and then I start adding a bit more depth and shadows and details, so start building on the first layer. But the first layer is just me putting the crayon and color on the page, then using quite a lot of water to spread it around and mix it on the paper. The sketchbook I'm using in this video is Hanemülle's watercolor sketchbook. It is not 100% cotton, but it works just beautifully with Neocolor IIs, and it's actually one of my favorite sketchbooks, if not the favorite sketchbook to use with Neocolor IIs and other kind of water-soluble crayons or pencils. This kind of very good, I would say, pretty affordable alternative to 100% cotton paper, and this works beautifully with these crayons. As you can see, I'm just building color. I am adding shadows to the trees, and I'm using here Prussian blue, which is a wonderful, wonderful color if you want to add some depth to your greens. It doesn't always have to be green. You can also use these kind of dark blues to do that. Works beautifully. And then I'm using different shades of greens. You can see them all kind of starting to pile up here, and also some Payne's gray, which is my kind of staple in landscape sketching. The greens I have here, I use mostly the light olive and olive green. Those are my two absolute favorites. I also have yellow green and moss green. So kind of throughout the sketch, those are the greens that I like to use most. I'm also using here yellow ochre, which is a very, very kind of useful color for any landscapes. Just a few thoughts about Neocolor IIs and how to use them for these kind of quick landscape sketches. I don't sharpen my Neocolors, at least not that often, so it's kind of difficult for me to get that really sharp edge. And of course, if I want to make some larger, more defined art piece, I can easily sharpen the crayons or use a palette so that I can turn the crayons into more like a gouache style paint, and use just a regular watercolor brush to add the color to page to get those kind of sharp and defined lines. But in this video, I just wanted to show you really kind of this technique, how you can use just the crayons and maybe a water brush, or I'm using here just a regular brush and a kind of jar of water. So you can use these, for example, if you're traveling or just painting outdoors, or you want to make these quick sketches and you don't want to make too much fuss about it. And they are so much fun. Yes, you might not get that super defined and sharp edges, but you can create impressions, and isn't that what art is actually all about? The next picture I'm sharing with you here is actually a bit more challenging. It is taken from southern Finland during one summer, and it's just this beautiful Baltic Sea ahead of us. It is just gorgeous picture, but it was a bit of challenge. You can see later that I have to work a bit harder on some parts of this sketch, mainly being because the details are so small, and I'm also having a pretty small square of paper that I'm drawing on, and the details were so small, and I could have spent hours kind of working on those small details, but that's not what I wanted to do. So I just wanted to create again that impression and kind of the overall do the overall sketch of the scenery. And I start again with some simple color blocking, and then I start building the details on top of that. But as said, I can't go into too much details when I'm sketching very quickly, and I have the crayons which are not super sharp. So what I then do is that I play with light and shadow and try to add those kind of very dark shadows to the buildings on that little island that you can see kind of middle of the photo. But this was a nice challenge, even though I did struggle, and I also want to share this with you that not everything that I work on goes perfectly. As all of us, we struggle with our art at times, and what kept me going was the thinking that, okay, this is actually just a quick sketch. As said, it doesn't have to be perfect, you just should enjoy the process. And last but not least, I wanted to add also a more autumnal little scenery. This picture is from a small island in southern Finland, and it is, I think, from October a couple of years ago. And why I want to include this is that I just love the colors and it's very season appropriate. The other two were spring and summer. This is then our autumn picture. And this was also challenging in its own way. And I kind of wanted to increase the challenge level as we go. In this picture, I think the secret is to color mix a lot and also use different shades of those autumn colors. So you can see me actually using here many more crayons than in the previous two sketches. And the reason being that there is so much happening. There is so much happening in this autumn landscape. There are fallen leaves, there are different colors, there's lots of gray. And to balance out that gray, I wanted to include other colors as much as possible. Also that beautiful birch tree that we have on the right hand side. I was a bit kind of hesitant, like which color would I use? And none of the colors I have obviously is the exact one. So I wanted to mix together some colors. And what I did here is I mixed together beige and Sahara yellow. And I think those two actually create a beautiful and exactly the right shade I wanted for this type of tree. So again, my number one advice for you is to play with your crayons, test different color mixes, learn to know your crayons, and kind of get to know your crayons so well that you know which colors mix together. And then you can test, and sometimes it's a fail and sometimes it works out, but the main thing is to have fun. Even though these were rather quick sketches, it still took me, I'd say, something like half an hour to complete all of these. It was very well spent half an hour, I have to say. I really enjoy using these crayons for these type of quick sketches, and yes, I have talked about this so many times before on my channel. I have a whole full playlist full of Neocolor II videos. You know what I'm talking about if you've been with me for a while already. But these crayons are so versatile, and one of the best things I know is to use these for just, I would say, calming my mind after a very busy day or week. And it was one rather late evening that I sat by my art desk and I made this little page of quick sketches, and I slept so much better afterwards. So art could really also be the kind of outlet and be your de-stressing activity, and I think that is what it is for most of us and why we love art. But it also means that you have to let go of the little perfectionists that might be inside of you, and you have to just trust the process and trust your intuition and let your kind of mind just choose the colors. And that's why I recommend you to keep the pace quite fast if you join me in this sketching session. Keep the pace rather fast and just, let your mind do the trick, let your hand do the trick without you overthinking too much. And if there are parts that you struggle with, like I always struggle with trees, me and trees, it's just very difficult for me to get those tree branches right. But I just decided that this time I'm not going to care. I don't care what the end result looks like. I'm just going to go with it and trust the process, and I'm going to enjoy it and love the end result no matter what. Let me know in the comments if you joined me or if this inspired you to make some quick sketches of your own. And also let me know how you found it, if it was challenging for you or if you enjoyed it. Also, if you'd like to see more videos like this, please leave me a comment below and also hit that like button and consider subscribing to my channel. I have, as said, a full playlist of Neocolor II videos and some new ones coming your way soon as well. And I have something really exciting planned for later months of the autumn. More about that later. But as we kind of finish and wrap up the sketches, I want to thank all the new subscribers that have joined the channel lately, but also you who have been with me for a longer time, for some months already. Thank you so much for being part of this small community of art lovers and artists. Really means a world to me. So here they are, our 3 quick landscape sketches with Neocolor IIs. I hope that you enjoyed this one and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.